Your life is a summation of your daily thoughts and habits. My friends, that is so true. What you think and what you do are who you are. If every day you get up and you're scared or you complain or you hate your life, that is who you are. If you get up though and you have a positive attitude, you know where you're going because you have written it down, established a plan, and you're working toward it. Think about that. I remember when I read Stephen Covey's book years ago, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then the next book about living, loving, learning, and leaving a legacy. He talks over and over again about a plane, a jet plane in the sky, and how 90+% of the flight, it's off course, but it has a heading and it corrects. The wind blows it off, it overcorrects, but it keeps coming back to its course. And it can travel thousands of miles, and the autopilot or the pilot gets it there because they keep correcting because they know where they're going. And I'm telling you, my friends, if you can just establish a plan, know where it is you want to go, and every day take the little steps to do that. If you're in a rut, take the steps to get out of it. If you're in a hole, stop digging. Now, 10 to 15 minutes a day is all we ask here for you to learn how to chart the market. Think what the possibilities of your life are if you can figure out how to read these stock charts. And it's not hard, my friends. It's the weekly vertical crossovers. They are the key. They are the key on charts that work. Not all stocks can be charted, not all ETFs, but when you see stocks and ETFs that have clear weekly vertical crossovers that work time and time again, I say 90% of the time they need to work. You guys have seen where I have instructed and showed you our first 11, was it? Yeah, 11 up through May. The 11 weekly vertical crossovers we had for the year, every single one worked. Every single one for the first 5 months. After that, we had 2 more. The first one, gold, failed us on a down move and then switched over. And look where gold is, my friends. It is, again, heading up crazy good. It faked us out one time, the only time this year things did not work so far. And look at gold now, jumping in point somewhere around 165. How high has gold gone? 173.25. Is that pretty good within not even 4 weeks? I would say, yes, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So again, we're here for you every day, 10 to 15 minutes. Let's jump into these charts. We see everything up for the day except the Qs. The Qs was up big yesterday and then dropped off today. We're going to jump into that in just a minute. But let's look at the S&P 500 up, not so much today, but up 0.21%. We see it hitting a higher high. We see, again, the weekly vertical crossover and the trend line just continuing to move up. Look how smooth the price percent oscillator is, derivative oscillator, about flat. That's on the weekly chart today. I redrew the trend line just a minute ago. Look how clean and beautiful that is. And again, first day of the latest 2-day candle, it'll finish drawing on Wednesday at the close of the market. But we had that 2-day recross, jumping in point somewhere around the 318 mark, up to a high of what? A high of 326.93. So again, 318 to 326.93. Not bad on a 2-day recross and going into 5 days after that. Beautiful, my friends. What do we see on the price percent oscillator on the half-day chart? Saw it pop up in the morning and then lose some in the afternoon. That's where we reached our high, was in the morning. Lost some in the afternoon. Price percent oscillator about flat, derivative oscillator flat. So keep your eye on the S&P as it weakens a little bit there at the end of the day. But again, remember, major thing, keep your eye on that weekly that's still strong, and that 2-day weaken just a little bit. But again, we'll see how it finishes drawing when that candle finishes on Wednesday at the close of the market. Now the Qs, so we saw the weakness down 1.04%. Look at how it's sort of flattening here, where you can see on the green candle bodies And you can see that so far this week, we've not reached the high that we hit last week. We can see how the price percent oscillator was angling up, and then things started slowing down and again flattening off a little. Well, it's still heading up. That's good. But the derivative oscillator is losing momentum. Go to the 2-day chart. Remember, we were heading down back on the 2-day candle. We had that red spinning top on the 16th representing Wednesday and Thursday of last week. We have a green up candle forming, but look at that price percent oscillator clicking over, derivative oscillator losing momentum. So pay close attention to how this candle ends up forming on this 2-day chart when it finishes drawing on Wednesday. And this is where we can see on the half-day chart up on Monday, both in the morning and afternoon, topping Tuesday morning and then dropping off. So we'll continue. You can see how the 4 hours trying to cross over and then just sort of laminated for us, stalled out. So again, keep your eye on the prize. We had that 2-day crossover, show that to you, on the 6th. Again, closed out on Monday, and that was Monday the 6th of July, popped up and then slid down and sideways a little bit and popped up. So again, keep your eye on things. We'll continue to watch, see what there is to see and learn here. Now we go on to bonds. Bonds up just a little bit, 0.06% for the day. Still don't have a crossover. Things are just flat. I mean, just out and out flat, and have been for 1, 2, 3, 4, going into the 5th week. Derivative oscillator is showing us, that's our leading indicator, that as far as price movement goes, we are seeing a loss in downward momentum. So again, we're getting some upward momentum there, seen by the candlesticks and the derivative oscillator, but not enough to cross over that all-important price percent oscillator yet. Go to the 2-day chart. And of course, it's continuing to try to move up, getting flatter, not piercing that 200-period moving average line. And of course, we can see the green candles continuing to form, but they're getting smaller. And again, because we've got the 2-day up and the weekly down, we don't have a trade on TLT. We're going to have to wait for that to sort its way out. 4-hour chart is still crossed over, going down. Derivative oscillator also negative. So we'll continue to monitor and wait for things to straighten out on TLT. We've got to have the 2-day and the weekly moving in the same direction. What about gold? Beautiful. Talking about this earlier, gold crossed over, going up on the week ending the 26th of July. And of course, we're going into now the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th week of up movement. That is beautiful. We're finally seeing the price percent oscillator pull away from the red signal line, derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Look at that 2-day chart, also pulling away from the red signal line. Look at that candle for the day, up 1.21%. That's beautiful. And of course, we see up movement in the morning, a little bit higher up in the afternoon on Tuesday. Beautiful. Right outside those Bollinger Bands, stretching out, showing us volatility increasing. That's what Bollinger Bands are. They are volatility bands. Folks, that's it. If you are interested in our 4 big charts, we are done. Now we're going to jump into our other charts, both Bitcoin. We're going to look at real estate. We're going to look at oil. And man, is oil soaring, and Bitcoin too. But again, if you're only interested in those 4 big charts, we are done. We promise you 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's it. If you don't have our book, buy it. Send out several books today. If you live overseas, email us, cw@chartingwealth.com. We'll send you a PayPal invoice. If you're in the States and want to buy the book, follow the link in the show notes. And friends, if you are not signed up to receive each and every day our daily trainings, you are missing out, because guess what? We're sending out today the Secret of Profit and Loss bands. They are bands you set up on your charts to show you where you get out if a trade is not working, and then your sell points when a trade is working, when you're doing your practice trading. And again, I think I'm going to put out here soon the fractional trading options that are available nowadays too, where when you get tired of your paper trading and you've been doing good at that, and you want to take the next step. The next step is to take $50 or $100, take a little bit of risk, learn how to actually enter a real-time trade with just a small amount of money and a small amount of risk, so that you go in and buy a fractional share. There are a number of online brokers that allow you to do that. Great way to understand how to buy to open, how to sell to close, how to put in a limit order, how to go ahead and put in an order after you do your initial purchase to sell with little amounts of money, so you're not risking very much, but you're getting real experience, which really counts. Now, let's keep moving through these charts. What's Bitcoin up to? Up 2.37% for the day. Look at that. It just won't cross over, going down on that weekly chart. Now, it could. We've still got 3 trading days left in the week, but it is starting to show a little green up candle, and the price percent oscillator is running parallel to the red signal line. The derivative oscillator has gone negative, but again, that can change for the end of the week. And look at the green candle that's forming. That is nice to see with Bitcoin. It's the biggest one we've seen in quite a while. Golly day, going all the way back to the 2nd of July. 2nd of June. So that's nice to see. We'll see if indeed there's a crossover going up. If there is a 2-day recross, guess what, my friends? The weekly still hasn't crossed over going down. If there's a 2-day recross, it can give you the ability to jump into a practice trade on Bitcoin. Half-day chart, we saw it cross over going up in the morning and soaring up even higher in the afternoon. Well, did it soar higher? It touched a high of $9,389.99, and it did the same in the afternoon. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. And hopefully we'll see a 2-day recross that'll give us the ability to go long in Bitcoin. About time if that happens. What's up with real estate? Real estate up 0.24%. Now that is 0.24%, not 2%, 0.24. So it's up a little bit, but we still see a red candle forming. Price percent oscillator is about flat. Derivative oscillator losing upward momentum. 2-day chart still negative. We're going to have to see that crossover again. Going to have to see a 2-day recross to get us into anything with real estate, but at 0.24%, that's going to take a while. We see the 4-hour chart up in the morning, pulling back a little in the afternoon. Lastly, we go to black gold. That is oil, and man, did it ring the bell today, up 2.06%. Is that not sweet after we had that weekly vertical crossover back that first week in July, somewhere around $28.31. What's oil hit a high of? $30.22. Again, this is a commodity that went from a high of what? $104 to a low of $16.88. Bam! Man, but that weekly vertical crossover is doing us right. Go to the 2-day chart. We can see, oh, that's a nice little candle that's forming. Look at how volatility went from huge volatility as price just crashed to then it started sliding sideways. Look at how it just develops a funnel. Now, when there's a real breakout and it shoots up, you'll see the volatility bands, the Bollinger Bands, expand. But that's the reason we have them on the chart, is to be able to see instantly what the volatility looks like. Price percent oscillator heading up, derivative oscillator about flat on that 2-day chart. And look at that, 4-hour chart crossed over in the morning, a little bit of a pullback in the afternoon. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on Tuesday. Interesting week so far. And again, chart these markets with us every day. They are going to go down at some point, and when they do, it's going to be a hammer stroke. But you know what? In the meantime, we're going to let these weekly vertical crossovers tell us what to do. When they work, they are magic. And so far, 95%, something like that for the year. 13, only one let us down. And again, it's beautiful. If you want to know what we're all about, join us every day 10 to 15 minutes and buy the book. Second edition, autograph copy, waiting for you. Follow the link in the show notes. We'll get it right out to you. Again, if you live overseas, email us cw@chartingwealth.com. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.